the reality is that you were on mission and that not everything was easy, right? Would love to know, especially for those that might be stepping into an unknown, place, what were some of the challenges that you guys kind of endured at any stage? You can share a specific story or something that you think the Lord kind of helped you work through, during that time.
Well, I think for me, in each location or different setting that we were in, I was kind of viewing it as, oh, this is what it's going to be like long term. And can I do this? And I kept just really doubting myself. And we had a lot of hard conversations. And where I was just feeling like, I can't do this. I can't.
Wow.
And it sounds, we were in Hawaii, so yes. But there were things that were not comfortable. And just things that I was having to go through. We had gotten rid of a lot of our stuff. We didn't have a home anymore. It was just a lot that was unknown. And we had very young children. Sailor was only 7 months at the time when we left. So there was just a lot that I was having to kind of mentally go through to be prepared and to be a part of what God was doing and a part of that season. And I think Caleb, was really sensitive to those things too. And he would say well, we're not going without you. We're just going to carry you. We're going to pick you up and you're going to come with us. Because I can't do it.
One way or another.
But he made me know that they would not leave me. And
That's good.
And then also just for me having little ones that were crawling along the floor, and I remember we got to Mexico on outreach, and we were in a very small room, and he just knew that it would help me if the floor was clean. And so before we unpacked, before we settled in for the day, before we even let our baby crawl along the floor, he came in and he mopped the entire floor. And
awesome.
So just little
That's a good
things
man
like
right
that. Yeah, exactly. Helped me through those little hurdles.
Yeah.
So
Good.
Yeah, and I think for me, oddly enough, like I said, I love that adventure, that new thing, and I do. I still do. But it kind of took me by surprise, I think, when we first landed in France, how much of a transition it was, living in a culture other than your own. Up to that point, you're in DTS, it's sort of okay, this is a phase, you know? And then you get to, where we're okay, we could be here for 40 years, who knows, and just that kind of, shock of it. I think you had read somewhere, it was, someone had likened it to losing a family member,
the stress of moving cross-cultural. Cross-cultural.
Wow.
And and we're not fluent in French or anything either. And so and I remember when we left, I had been battling a cold for a couple of weeks, and I was still not feeling well when we got to France, and it was rainy and cold, and we were staying in this little tiny damp apartment, and it was 15 minutes from the base, a 15-minute walk. We didn't have a car. And that's where you eat your meals. We would eat meals with other YWAM, staffers and stuff. But it's pouring down rain. We have no car. We have 3 little kids. It's cold. And we're we can't walk. We can't, we're going to be soaked, And thankfully there was a bag of lentils or something. And Mimi's I can make lentil soup. So I think for the first 3 weeks we had lentil soup, And I was
French lentils.
Yeah, French lentils. And I just remember being so frustrated every day. And I love sunshine and, warm weather and stuff. And it was not that. And just all of it combined, I'm just I'm how much is a ticket back to Florida? And then I remember one night I was just so bummed, that we couldn't just go to dinner, and we're having lentil soup again. And I was I'm going to walk to the store and get a baguette because everyone eats baguettes there, And I was at least that's a little bit of filler, with the lentils. And so I'm walking in the rain and I'm kind of mumbling under my breath, at God. I'm God, what is going on? This is crazy. Why is this so hard? Why is it so difficult? And I get the baguette and I'm walking back. It's in a plastic bag. And it's a movie scene, literally. I'm angry, I'm upset. A car drives past me, hits a puddle, and a wave of water covers me. And I'm standing there, really? Really? And I was angry in the moment, but I could quickly see the comedic value in that. It's pretty funny.
Right.
And God brought us through that, and like we have some amazing friends that friendships that we built in France, and just our time there was so good. And we love it. We wouldn't trade any of it, even those moments. And, but even I think another big challenge in that is like being open to where the Lord wants you to go. So even at the beginning of 2020, he had us transitioning out of that. And so for us, like hearing this call 15 years ago, and now like it seems like, it's prematurely being cut short. I think that's another. So like you guys were talking about going into it. This is also like a season of change, and just hearing the Lord's voice and being open to that was a difficult thing, I think, for a little bit too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, it's that reminder that things don't always go as we anticipate, right?
Exactly.
Or as we expect. And, sometimes you could be on a route and then, boom, it's like you come to a detour or a standstill or, whatever that might be. But,
And it's so relevant in any type of career field, right? Because someone could get a call for a promotion in another state or wherever, and then the spouse might have hesitations or reservations, but you guys are talking about the beauty of the journey, and it's really cool to hear the challenges, but you're still here, right? So what maybe is one thing that you guys have learned within your marriage through those challenges? What has been something that has really helped you kind of navigate through those together?
I think the thing that has helped us the most is open communication, like presenting it to the Lord over and over, all those hesitations, all of those worries, all of the fears, giving it to the Lord, asking him for wisdom, and then also going through it with each other too, talking through all of those different things, and not holding back or not being afraid to say what you feel, but just doing that really prayerfully, and praying together and getting to that place of feeling peace, even when it's unknown or even when you still feel afraid, but just being able to feel that peace from the Lord and stepping forward.
Yeah, that's good.
So.
Yeah, for sure. Just, making sure that we're on the same page with it. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'll present something and we are not on the same page, and it's important not to just like, bulldoze ahead and, leave me behind and do whatever I feel like we should do as, a family and whatnot. But, like doing it together, it just strengthens, us, communication, our relationship with our kids, our marriage, all that. So,
Yeah, so. I think we have joked before that Caleb is the gas and I'm the brakes, and
there you go.
We have to balance each other out like that. I mean, obviously, there are many things I wouldn't have done had he not said, "Hey, let's pray about this. Hey, let's step out in this." And looking back, I'm so thankful for the adventures that we've had. I'm so thankful for the things that God has taught us through those seasons and through the different, places that we've lived, the relationships that we've been able to build through that. So, I think there has to be that balance.
Exactly.
Right.
You have to talk through those things and pray through those things also.
Exactly. And like you said, both of you see each of your strengths in that, right? Like you said, he's the gas, you the brakes. And both are necessary in order for the car to, to go, safely. Right? Drive safely. So, no, I think that's awesome that you mentioned that. And I know that clearly you guys have seen a lot, endured a lot over the past, few years, and you spoke about those things briefly. But let's kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about, maybe some of the wins that you all, experienced, have experienced or are experiencing along the way. Like maybe as you all were going through some of those seasons, like what were maybe some of the victories or wins that you experienced? I know, Mimi, you mentioned the story about cleaning the floor, but like what were maybe some other things that you guys look back on and like, wow, you're grateful for?
Yeah, so I think for me, and I know for Mimi as well too, it has been in situations with our boys when after, we're serving somewhere, ministry, or we've done something or traveled somewhere. And they ask us this question that has so much insight and like wisdom to it. And it blows us away because we're like, we had no idea, like you were even listening or like, kind of present in that moment. We knew you were there, obviously physically, but like, you were listening, you were engaged, and it's just awesome to see that the Lord is working in their life and in their heart, even at such a young age, and they're putting these things together. And since we did have this huge value on like doing ministry as a family, that's a huge win for us because we're like, they're in it. Like they're not just, tagging along. It's not just dad going somewhere or mom and dad going somewhere, but it's all of us like doing this together.
Yeah, it was just, that's basically what I was going to say too, that they really do count themselves a part of what we're doing. I don't think I've ever heard them say, oh, well, my daddy does this or my mommy does that. It's like, well, we do this. We travel here. We serve refugees. We do safe families for children. Like they're just a part of it. And so that is definitely a win because that has been our heart, to figure out how do we do this together? How do we not leave one another behind, and we do this all together? So.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm blown away.
Yeah. And speaking of your boys, I mean, Adrian and I always admire the way that you guys just are raising the three of them. And so, like, how do you all work together? We talk a lot about working together as a team. Right. How are you all able to work as a team, as husband and wife in raising your sons?
I feel